Hello, welcome to Fort McHenry. First, you're going to see this introductory video.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Powerful words of our national anthem. They speak to our American identity and are woven into our national flag. Timeless words written by one man, Francis Scott Key, about one flag at one moment. September 14th, 1814, here at Fort McHenry. 1812, storm clouds of war had gathered over a young United States as the nation pitted itself once more against the might of the British Empire. For 2 years, the conflict wore on from the British colonies of Canada to America's southern coast and out across the high seas. To draw off U.S. forces from Canada and damage America's economy and morale, the British Navy attacked and blockaded the nation's east coast heartland. Up and down the Chesapeake Bay they raided, destroying towns and farms, spreading fear. Then, in August 1814, disaster. The invading British seized Washington, D.C., and burned the nation's capital. A citizen soldier of Baltimore spoke for many. Every American heart was bursting with shame and indignation at the catastrophe. And Baltimore hearts were also full of anxiety, for they feared they would be next.
Citizens of Baltimore, take heed. The British fleet approaches. Admiral Palmer has declared that he will burn this nest of pirates. If you can, flee the city, take your valuables.
As Baltimore braced itself, a young Maryland lawyer, Francis Scott Key, embarked on a diplomatic mission to free a prisoner of war, sailing right into the heart of the approaching British fleet. But with their attack on Baltimore imminent, the British detained Key amidst their massing warships. On the outskirts of Baltimore, citizens, men and women, militia, and regular troops desperately prepared defenses. They dug almost a mile of earthen trenches and waited with bated breath. On September 12th, British soldiers landed at North Point, where a bloody battle with Maryland militia failed to halt their march towards Baltimore. However, the British could not tackle the city's earthwork defenses and troop reinforcements without their Navy's help. The next day, the British bomber ships would open up their main assault with a ferocious bombardment. Their target, Fort McHenry. They had to knock out the fort to bring their ships in range of the city. The fate of Baltimore now lay in the hands of the fort's defenders. "1,000 soldiers frantically prepared for battle, knowing they were the last defense to thwart the British. With the enemy in their sights, the men awaited the inevitable, a bombardment from the world's most formidable navy. Then the attack began as the British fleet pounded the fort with rockets and mortar shells. The long day turned into rain-soaked night. But still, the British bombs and rockets thundered over the fort, exploding deadly shrapnel in all directions. The fort's defenders were, in the words of one citizen soldier, like pigeons tied by their legs. The American artillery answered the British with desperate return fire. What do you mean, enough? Baltimore's citizens watched in panic through the night. One recalled,
The attack on Fort McHenry was distinctly seen from Federal Hill and from the tops of houses which were covered with men, women, and children.
early next morning, September 14th, the British guns finally fell silent. A huge flag was raised above the fort, but whose? Through the long night, Francis Scott Key had been forced to watch the bombardment from among the enemy fleet.
Nothing.
Now, he strained to see the flag in the dawn's early light.
It's ours, Mr. Skinner. Say, we won. It's ours.
Inspired by their courage, he wrote down a few lines. "'Tis the Star-Spangled Banner, oh, long may it wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave." As the British withdrew, he returned to Baltimore, where his words soon found music and a publisher, and the Star-Spangled Banner was born. It captured a defiant, patriotic spirit and spread rapidly across the nation, pouring new life into the national flag as a symbol of American identity. The popularity of the song and the flag grew during the years that followed. The Star-Spangled Banner eventually became the official anthem of the United States in 1931. Inspired by the brave defense of Fort McHenry, Francis Scott Key's words and the flag they so memorably portray are now woven into our sense of national identity. These words still resonate as loudly today as the glaring rockets and bursting bombs of 1814.
Cool, right? Cool. Okay, let's work our way out here. You have to turn the camera around for a minute here. Let's see. Hang on, folks. Oops. Okay, here I am. All right, so I'm Sharon Schultz, also known as the Bay Lady, and today we are doing a virtual tour of Fort McHenry. You just saw the introductory film about the War of 1812 and the Battle of Baltimore. And now we'll go ahead and take a walk around the fort itself. I'm going to switch the camera back around so you don't have to look at me. Ta-da! And there you go. Check out the flag. And of course, Francis Scott Key, author of the Star-Spangled Banner. And out we go. Mhm. Well, thank you, sir. Ah, today's a busy day. Wow. A lot of schools come here. I'm sure this is the school group since schools are still in session, of course. So I think I'm going to have to put my hat on here because the sun is very bright today. Very bright. Let me just grab my hat out of my trusty backpack here. And then we'll start walking to the fort. This is kind of a nice park area. This is actually a federal. Hey, Amy, hold that for a sec. This is actually a federal park. So we've got to walk the trail to get to the actual fort. But I think we might take the trail, get a little layout of the area first. Go down by the dock and then walk around to the fort. So we'll see the fort outside. Okay. This might work. Alrighty. And we're off. Ready? Yeah, a lot of schools. There, we saw some schools when on the way here. They were Baltimore at the Inner Harbor, not too far from here. Got a science center and National Aquarium, and they had lines of school kids there. So here are there's various markers telling the story of the War of 1812. You just got the best part of it in the video, though. Always impressive. So if you wanted to come here from the Inner Harbor, you could take a water taxi. We have those. Beautiful day. What are the kids doing up? They're all playing. Nice. Kind of noisy with all the kids, actually. I'm used to it being quieter, but you know what? This is a great day for this, for sure. For sure. We're gonna cut over here so you can see the welcoming sign, right? Fort McHenry, National Monument and Historic Shrine. Here's an overview so you can see what the fort actually looks like. It's star-shaped, and that is apparently a thing. So, yeah, very, very well preserved, too, I have to say. The fort's beautiful. So, this is the beginning of the path. We will start here and then work our way to the fort. We've got some awesome shots of the city from here. Awesome shots. Okay, here we are. This is the Patapsco River. Okay, this is the harbor. Harbor goes down that way into the city. And let's see, what do we have? Oh, we've got some. Oh, this is the water taxi depot over here. So you could take the taxi and go straight across to the other side of the harbor. Over here, we've got some naval ships. Well, they're pretty big ones, too, aren't they? There's a little power boat out there. Oop, there's Amy. That's my daughter. This path doesn't have any railings. I don't mind it, but if I had small kids, that might spook me a little bit. I'd have visions of them running and not looking and slipping off the side. Here's another nice view, right? How pretty. Okay. Oh, Amy, I found it. The port of entry for immigrants coming to Baltimore. Right dead ahead. Okay. During the 1800s, early 1900s, there were a lot of immigrants coming to this country from Europe, and they came into Boston, New York, Chicago, and Baltimore. In fact, Baltimore was the second biggest port for immigrants after New York's Ellis Island. Now, what you're looking at are those some concrete columns there, and I don't know what they are, something construction, something. But next to it on the right, next to the ship there is a lighthouse. And it's at that point over there where the immigrants came into Locust Point and were then processed from there. So I just found this out recently, and so I wanted to see for myself where they arrived, and there it is. Pretty cool. Baltimore has so much history. It just amazes me. Nice history too. Oh, well, it's got bad history too. Oh, you can see you may have to zoom in on this with your phones or watching device or whatever, but dead ahead is what's left of the Francis Scott Key Bridge. The bridge was named after our poet, Francis Scott Key. And this is the bridge that was hit by a huge cargo ship coming from this direction, coming out of the harbor, getting ready to go under the bridge and out to the bay. And they crashed into the bridge and it came down. And people died on that bridge that night.
Only 6.
Only 6, true.
But still.
Yeah, it was an amazing night. There were workers working on the bridge and they lost their lives, but a couple of them managed to get off and they were able to send out the alarm so people stopped vehicles from entering the bridge from both sides. So yeah. But that's what you're looking dead ahead. That used to be the bridge. And now it's a big gap. Crazy. It's amazing how things can change just in a blink, right?
Well, that's Fort Carroll in the middle, right?
Yeah, Fort Carroll in the middle. Yeah,
It's the
sure
one
is.
that had
Yeah,
the underground.
yeah, it still does. Yeah, you can see a couple things in the middle between the two bridge structures. Those were the on ramps. Anyway, there's an island out there, and it is also a fort. It's Fort Carroll, and right across from it, on land over there behind that ship, is Fort Armistead. So Baltimore was very heavily guarded. Also, over on the left would be Fort Howard, which is where the British infantry tried to come in and take Baltimore by the back door, but didn't happen. And over here you can see the fort and the flag flying high. And we'll be working our way up there shortly. Beautiful day. There's one of the park rangers up there. They usually have a good handful of rangers here that, can answer your questions, and some of them will do, guided tours and such. It's pretty neat.
Water.
Yeah, I do. One of those pockets. Got it. Whew. Yeah, it's getting hot already, isn't it? That's because we're walking in the sun. I have to get up to the fort.
Why I wore this hat? Otherwise, my face would be sweating.
Yeah. Well, me too, because it's keeping my eyes off, or, the sun out of my eyes, pretty much.
What is that?
I have no idea. I don't know, some kind of, it looks like spotlights. Here.
Hmm. Like a lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Modernized lighthouse.
Yeah. God.
Platform and light.
That is so crazy, the bridge missing. This is the first time I've been to Fort McHenry since the bridge came down.
How long is it? That hasn't been quite.
It's been a year. Yeah, it was just a year. The memorial for the workers that died is still up as well. They on the road going into the park, they have a massive display that salutes and honors the workers who died on the bridge. And they also have one of their cars that they fished out of the water, right, with the occupants in it.
Yeah, thank
So-
God the bridge was closed that night for work, whatever work.
Yeah, they had a lot of lanes closed off.
No, the bridge was
Yeah.
completely closed.
For your safety, stay off of seawall. They should have had that sign way back down there when we started walking it.
I know we walked in front of all those school kids on the wall.
I know.
Those
Yes,
wall
we do.
breakers.
You can see all the cannons sticking up. Let's go up here now. We'll go check out the fort. The fort's set up like it was in 1812. It's got some nice displays and all.
Can you walk? Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can walk anywhere around here. Yeah. You can climb up where the cannons are and such.
Hang off the cannon like
Yeah. Phew. It's a little bit of a walk, a little bit of a hike. But then again, it's a nice day for it. Summers are only going to get hotter. Maryland can have brutal summers. It can get very, very hot and humid here. You got temperatures, up in the high 90s, and humidity so high that you can barely move without sweating. Okay. Well, there's some pretty hefty looking cannons there. And there's the flag. Yeah, Army soldiers and Navy sailors, they all worked together here. You had the Navy out in the water defending against the British ships, and you had the infantry here setting off cannon fire at the British ships. So they were all quite busy. Oh, sure. And we are approaching the fort. You can see the walls here, the big old walls. For some reason, this is crooked. I don't know why. Mhm.
We go to the right. Watch
Well, let's go into the fort, and then we can go up from. I mean, there's access all
yeah.
inside.
Return it. I would return the book.
What is that little thing in there?
I don't know, but you can go in it. It's I don't know, a little. Oh, it goes through.
What is it now?
I don't know if it's a little guard thing or I don't know. Oh no, guess I'm not. I'll
Maybe
pass
not.
later. Later. There we go. I'm still not too big on crowds after COVID, right? I stay away from big crowds generally. Okay. Ooh, it's nice and cool in here. And down here, what do we have? Bomb proofs. Okay, so these were like fallout shelters, basically. Goes way back there too. Cool. Oh, look at these massive doors, would you? Wow. Heavy duty handles. Oh, this looks like an original handle. Look at this. That's pretty cool. Go ahead. Go. I want copies of your pictures. That's the only thing about doing these tours is I can't take pictures. Used to, huh? Yeah. See, those spaces are too tight when they're filled with kids. Okay, so these buildings are all set up as they were with exhibits and such. Okay, so this must have been one of the offices because there's a lockup right here.
Oh yeah, here's some jail cells.
Yeah,
I can't see.
yeah.
I need a flashlight.
They're pretty dark, right?
My phone sees. I don't.
Hang on, folks. I want to do something with my camera setting here. Okay, there we go. And yeah. Oh, where'd she go? She went nuts up. Oh.
She's not coming on, but I still took pictures.
Oh my goodness, oh yeah. Well, that's kind of a dank, dark place, isn't it?
Look at that pathetic little window.
Totally. It's the one little drop of light.
Yeah.
Ugh. So it wouldn't be good to get locked up here. Look, this one, oh yeah, look, it's got that little window too.
Maybe
The windows are like little keyholes.
get some of the kids to go out in there and shut it.
Shoot, there was one kid when we were watching the movie that was just crying and kicking up a fuss, and I'm sure I got every loud pitch on my video. You'd think Mama would consider other people and remove the child. But no. Yes, this is true.
I'm gonna go later when it's a little quieter.
Yeah, seriously. I would have thought it would be crowded like this on a holiday, but didn't think about school holidays, however. There's some rangers up there. I guess they're doing little mini tours with the kids. We should go over here and look in this building before it gets loud and crowded. I believe these were like the officers' quarters and maybe enlisted men. No, not over here. Ho ho, Mexico. Whoops, excuse me. Local residents saved Fort McHenry.
So that means that cosmetics, right? Wait, that's here.
Look at this, isn't this nice?
Let's walk around and look.
Visiting Fort McHenry. Uh-huh.
Oh, yes. Well, look, someone's teeth. Someone's teeth? What is it? These are the job of.
Wow, the artwork is cool.
Shell fragments shattered.
Okay, World War One. Look at that.
August Marcher, acquired U.S. Coast Guard.
Huh.
Look at the radio.
West Coast Guard Station at McHenry from 1943.
Elizabeth, don't leave. Elizabeth. Elizabeth, say what you want to see.
Oh, let's see. Oh my goodness, here's somebody's teeth. Really? Jawbones. Oh my goodness, constructive surgery. There's the hospital. Right?
Wait.
Oh my goodness. Look at that. Fort McHenry was a whole place. Oh my goodness. This looked like barracks all around supporting it. My goodness.
That's park now.
Yeah, I didn't know all of those were there. I thought like this was it, you know. But looks like there was a lot more. Wow. Well. Huh.
Took us to the piers where we stood for
Okay, so that was a more like an exhibit display area of general purposes, general history. Same here. The fog of war.
The worst fate for Baltimore, a city they called a nest of pirates. But Baltimore was prepared. Fort McHenry had been strengthened, and several gun batteries supported Fort McHenry in guarding the harbor entrance. In the hot weeks of late summer, Major General Sam Smith had directed citizens, free blacks, soldiers, and slaves to build defenses at Hempstead Hill across the expected route of the British advance. People gave money and supplies, and militia poured into Baltimore. When the British ships appeared, General Smith sent a brigade of militia, commanded by General John Stricker, marching out the North Point Road. As General Smith anticipated, the British attacked by land and sea. On the morning of September 12th, the veteran British soldiers stepped ashore at North Point and began marching toward Baltimore. As a last defense measure, the Americans began sinking merchant ships to block the harbor. Halfway to Baltimore, the British advance guard encountered a party of American riflemen, and in a brief skirmish, their commander, Major General Robert Ross, was killed. Continuing their advance, the British struck the main body of the American forces. The Battle of North Point raged for 2 hours. Colonel Arthur Brooke directed British regulars to the American left, causing half the militia to withdraw in confusion. But the American right and center stood firm, and the remaining 1,500 Americans held against the advance of 4,000 British for over an hour. After suffering twice as many casualties as they inflicted, British experience in numbers finally forced the Americans to fall back toward the city. At dawn, on September 13th, the British began the second part of their two-pronged attack. British warships opened fire on Fort McHenry. All day, when the British ships moved closer, Major George Armistead ordered the fort's cannon to open fire and drove them back. Meanwhile, on land, the British Army marched toward Baltimore. At Hempstead Hill, the British were stopped by the strong American earthworks and the 15,000 men behind them. Soon after midnight on September 14th, the British Navy made a desperate attempt to create a diversion that would assist the Army and break the stalemate. They hoped to land and attack the fort and the other harbor defenses, while British soldiers with fixed bayonets stormed Hempstead Hill. Under the cover of darkness, British Marines and sailors in longboats rowed with muffled oars up the ferry branch past Fort McHenry. Their attempt failed. In the stormy weather, many of the longboats became lost and returned to the ships. Cannon fire from shore batteries caught the others in the water.
Cool.
On land, the British commander canceled the bayonet attack and ordered a withdrawal. The Battle of Baltimore was over.
The Battle of Baltimore was over. Huh. Yeah, these are the buildings that are left. I can't believe that there were a lot more of these outside the brick walls of the fort. That's crazy.
Man the forts.
Yeah.
That's not my answer.
Yeah, exactly. Here's fleas, lice, and bed bugs also lived in the barracks. Great. Each bed sack contained 1 truss or 32 pounds of straw. The Army issued 2 blankets for each bunk, 1 for each man. Well, at least did they have to, did they have to, 1 bug to themselves, 1 bunk a person, or did they have 2 people per bunk? Okay, here's where all their rifles went at the edge of the bunk here.
Quiet in here.
Usually that's not open.
You know what? I think that door I'm not supposed to open.
Oh, yeah, probably so. Probably it's where the gate's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing up there.
Oh, we should go upstairs.
Sure, but there's nothing there.
There's nothing.
There's a door that's locked.
It's not supposed to be open.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Tried to warn them.
That's all right. Get him, Mama. There's a lot of ground to this, though. Oh, this is a cool wagon. Oh, this would be a nice wagon to have a horse pull, right? And give kids a ride or something. Yaman. Let's see. Let's see what's here. Oh, huh?
It's an original cross brace.
Yeah, this is about construction and archaeology. This is not quite sure what it was for, but it's the original cross brace. And
What they were originally built with.
yep, that's just a rock wall, right? This must be petrified wood. No artifacts.
Orange soda bottle.
Well, gee. Oh, look, yeah, a knee-high bottle from 1935. Huh. That's interesting. Buttons. A pig bone.
Yes.
Okay. A wine bottle. Right, they drank a lot of beer and wine, all that ale. Isn't that what they called it, ale?
Ale, mead.
Hmm. Hmm. Oh, a bathroom, yay. May have to visit that later before we leave. Or something. Let's see, what do we have here? There's something in each building. They're all, oh, this is the officers' quarters, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice little place. Mhm. Ah, food. Huh, the cabbage almost looks real. I wonder if the oyster, no, the oysters look real too. No, they can't be them. That chicken doesn't look real at all. They're sure eating a lot of oysters. Maryland is real big on seafood, that's for sure. Most definitely. Servants and served. Hmm. Oh, a nice little wash basin there. And that's a weird chair. Huh. Hmm. Oh, where's everybody going?
Back to the buses.
Okay, coming up next is the munitions depot, where they used to store the gunpowder. So what did they call it? Oh, oh, look, instructions for making, for musket cartridge making and ball casting. Okay.
That's all.
This one looks a little.
Whew. There's barrels of gunpowder for muskets. That's cool. I wonder if they're in In Baltimore, in the city downtown, there's a shot tower that they use to make muskets and I mean musket balls and such. Oops, could you hold this for a second? I just knocked my earring out of my ear. Oops. Uh, really good. Why? It's not.
What's in the box? Can't quite tell.
Yeah. Do. And away we go. No, one more building.
And then we get to do the outside.
Yeah. Yeah, we can go up over there. Oh yeah, look at that big old cannonball there. Holy macaroni. Shoot, that cannonball didn't fit in any of these cannons. It's too big. Let's see. Oh, it was a British ball fired by the British naval forces during bombardment of this fort, September 13th through 14th, 1814, when by the light of bombs bursting in air, the national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner, had its worth. Huh. Wow, that's a big bomb. Too. They must have had some massive cannons on their ships. Massive. Okay, what's what we got here? Oh, it's cool in here. Feels good. So this is okay. This is
George Armstead.
it's Armistead, Fort Armistead down the street. Yep. Yeah, named for him. George Armistead. Somebody gave him a nice silver punch bowl.
Just right in front of you.
Oh,
All right, let's press. Button.
okay. Defending the fort, Major George Armistead's desk.
Is it
Nothing
gonna
happening?
change? Oh,
It's supposed to be a video.
I guess.
Yes,
sir.
Oh,
oh, there it is. Oh,
We are discussing the final dispositions of our offenses.
oh, there.
Yeah,
It took a minute.
Insight to the
Yes,
map
I
of this
know.
final maps report.
Hmm.
Some small craft.
That's where we live.
The first three.
Yeah.
See, it's merely a matter of time.
The defense of Washington State was a disgrace. The cursed militia broke and ran into the utmost impunity before them. This cannot happen here.
No, I'm gonna see if he has nose hair.
We will not let this forward. Evans, report. Well, hurry and confusion. I have 60 men making musket cartridges and the casting of ball. I have a very artillery ammunition as well.
Oh,
Muskets and pikes have been distributed should we have to defend the very walls of the fort. Very well. The shore batteries are prepared to cover the channel. If it is calm tomorrow, we will sink 7 to 8 vessels in the channel as obstructions, blocking ships to prevent the British from passing should they attack.
mm.
Remember, the church bells will ring, signaling the arrival of the British. Gentlemen, allow me to look over these maps a while.
Okay. Very interesting. She got it here. What are these? Oh, okay. Did Francis Scott Key really see the flag? He saw the flag of our country waving over the fort the morning after the battle. Was this the largest flag ever flown? Nope. Oh, 1802, good old General Armistead ordered a new flag. Awesome. Mm. What is original? There we go. Good question. One of the most commonly asked questions is, how much of this fort is original? While the entire fort is historic, only a portion dates to the era of initial construction, which was 1798 through 1805. This building represents the evolution of over 200 years of history. Originally built as two separate buildings, the commanding officers' quarters and guardhouse, the Army joined them into one unit in 1829 with the addition of the second story and the porches. Nice. Hmm.
This is the other set of stairs. Yeah.
What is this? A bedroom, I suppose. You know. Oh, sorry. I guess, I don't know. How do you feel about beds that are tilted? Right? I mean, it's tilted. The top's up higher than the bottom. You're laying on a tilt. Is that weird?
Yeah, because I feel like I'm sliding down.
Yeah.
Oh God, these are so.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And with those feather mattresses, I can only imagine.
Oh,
how many
yeah.
people have that.
Seriously. True. Another day on duty. Yay. It was nice and cool in there. It's back to hot out here. Oh, the breeze is good though. We're supposed to get some rain today, and it's supposed to come this afternoon, and so far so good. It can come anytime after the next 30 minutes as far as I'm concerned. Because after I leave here, I'm going somewhere indoors to find some food.
Find what?
Food. You want to go up?
Huh? Yeah.
Oh, let's go up. Yeah, you can walk all around up here too. It's got like multi levels.
Find the highest.
That's probably it. Dawn's early light. Here's what happened.
That'll be with the name.
Dawn's early light.
You're good. Let's go. All right, crew.
No, that's your clue.
And that's your group.
Wow.
Oh, smart. But check out these
I
cannons.
think we gotta go back out the way we came though.
Yes, you do. One way in, one way out. Want to go for a walk? Go for a walk.
Now we're up
One way
higher.
in, one way out.
Oh my.
Yeah, here, you want a picture?
Well, not with him do it.
No, that's fair. Of course.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
go in there.
All right, we can do that.
Figure out how to get there first.
Or walk around. We just have to go down to one of the lower levels. Huh. There's a bunch of cannonballs. Mhm. There's the flag proudly waving. We'll look at the other side over here. Take another.
Cannons missing. I wonder if they're.
Oh, yeah, they were probably cannons. Yeah, there were probably cannons there. They're like, bases for. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Little grass hill with the.
That is
Sword.
cool, isn't it?
How did I get my camera that way?
Hmm.
That is. Oh,
Careful.
cool little something.
Yeah.
Wonder if we can find a door to one place.
Well, there's the one that's open up there. We should definitely check it out. There's stairs to get down.
They go back down there. That way. We gotta keep going. We gotta keep following
No.
that until we find a way down.
I'll get a nice walk around.
Oh, this was when we first came in, I think. That path.
Over there.
Yeah, when we first came
Yeah,
in.
because look, that's the seawall right there. We were walking.
Yeah, we have
But
to go down to.
no.
All right, we can go down.
Yeah, I think we should. So I don't think it's gonna take us anywhere else. There were a lot of guns here, right? Once upon a time. I wonder where they all went. Look at this old barge over here. Barge. Just sitting there. I was wondering what that was. There's another barge up river there with a tugboat pushing it up towards the bridge.
It looks like it's been there for a while.
Yeah. Can you see down in there?
Down there.
No, I'm just looking to see if you can see down in there. How we doing here, Gimmel? We still have battery here, phone. How we doing? How long have we been on? Let me see. I can't see. The sun's so bright. I can't see my phone screen. So I can't see how many minutes we got. Huh? Oh, they meet. They're that's how they used to construct things. The shrine, the Irish museum has them with their stars. What they are is they're steel rods going through that just stabilizes everything. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Things obviously.
Yeah, that's something new I just learned when we were doing a tour at the Irish Railroad Museum, and somebody asked about those, and the director was explaining it. And I was like, cool. Did not know. Okay. Well, oh yeah. Well, we should get ready to wrap this up here. We'll wait till we get on the other side of the fort, and we'll say farewell. Go find some food. Okay, so I'm gonna sign off in here where it's cool and you can see. Hold on, eh? All right, so let me switch this camera around here. All right. Settings, camera. There I am. Okay, well, let's see. Oh, we've been on an hour. How about that? Well, thank you all for joining us on this tour of the historic Fort McHenry National Park. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more of my tours, make sure you follow me on Facebook, The Bay Lady, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sharon Schultz, The Bay Lady. And also there's a link on both to buy me a coffee where tips, gratuities, donations are accepted for future trips, gas, admission, etc. So have a good one, and I'll see you soon.